All right, so welcome to this sort of crude tutorial of how I made this basic box. It is 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters by whatever the width of the board was in this case, somewhere around 20 centimeters, I believe. So what I started off doing is literally just measuring out the length of the board for the sides. So I made the sides 47.5 centimeters each. Reason for that is the plank of wood is 2.5 wide. So the 2.5 plus 47.5 adds up to 50 centimeters on all four sides. So I ended up with 4 planks that are 47.5 centimeters long. And then for the base of the box, I did 2 planks that were 50 centimeters long each, because the box is going to be 50 wide. There's no walls on the bottom of the box. And I actually believe the width of the board was somewhere around 24 centimeters, because combined they ended up being just under 50, but I kind of wanted that. As you might be able to see, the final box has a small gap between the 2 bottom boards just for air and things to move around more easily. So I cut up those 4 planks of 47.5 centimeters each, and there's kind of 2 ways you can do this. You can sandwich the boards where 2 of the boards are on the outside sandwiching in the other 2. So basically 2 boards are sandwiched inside of the other 2 boards. What I ended up doing with this one is kind of a more even method where every board is butting up against the next board. So each board, one side is butting into the other one, and the other side is being butted into, if that makes sense. I also sanded these boards. This is where you can kind of decide where you want to take the finish of the box. You could plane these, as flat as a pancake and stain them and make them these beautiful boxes. I was using these boxes simply as storage under the bed I am currently sleeping on. So it didn't need to be anything fancy. Just needed to be strong enough to not fall apart in the next few years. And yeah, nothing fancy with this box. So once I had all those sanded out, I started pre-nailing in nails into the sides of each box. What this does is allows me to line up the wood where it needs to nail in, and then I can just hammer it in. I don't need to be fumbling around with, getting the nail head to stick in. It's halfway in, I line up the wood, then I hammer it in. It's good to go. Just careful to see the lengths of these boards. Look at the lengths of these boards and find the flatter edge. I want the flatter edge to all be on the same side of the bottom of the box. Top of the box doesn't necessarily need to be flat. There's no lid going on this box, so it could be all janky. If there's any bark, the majority of the bark I will put on the top side of the box, because again, it doesn't need to be perfectly flat. However, the bottom, I do want it to be relatively flat. And once I had that square all put together of those 4 47.5 centimeter pieces, which together will add up to 50 all the way around, I then lay out the box. And what I'm checking here when I'm measuring the diagonals of each side is making sure it's square. So you could do the Pythagorean theorem and do 50 squared plus 50 squared square rooted. It's going to give you somewhere in the realm of 70.5, I believe. But all that really matters if you're doing a box or even a rectangle is the hypotenuses that you measure are the same. So you don't really need to do the math. As long as if you measure one and it's 100 centimeters and you measure the other and it's 102, then you know that you should be at 101. And from there you can adjust the box, which is what I did a tiny bit, just a tiny squeeze, to get both sides to 70.5. But from there it's pretty simple. You take your 2 planks that are 50 centimeters each and you hammer them into the bottom. I was careful to first nail in the nails halfway, and then from there it's easy to hammer in the final spot so everything stays square. And yeah, that's basically the box. From absolute start to absolute finish, this took about 20 minutes, and 3 or 4 of those minutes were spent finding a pencil because I had a pen and the ink does not work well on slightly damp wood. Box is great. Now I have 4 boxes for the beds under the cabin I'm sleeping in. So each bed will have 2 boxes, 1 tall box for bigger things and 1 smaller box for personal items like books, electronics, things like that. So I hope you enjoy. I'll probably be coming out with a shelf video here in the near future. I've built 2 shelves for the kitchen here in the village, and planning on building 2 more. They're very basic. They can be, I think the first one took me maybe 3.5, 4 hours. The second one took me 2 hours flat, so I'm trying to see if I can get these next few done in maybe less than an hour and a half, and maybe the fourth one at right around an hour. They're not very complicated, but I will be sure to film that and see how it goes. So I appreciate you watching. I know this channel is kind of all over the place. We've got vegan related videos now. We've got a box video with some cute puppies. We've got video topics on other subjects that I enjoy. So if you do watch this, and there's like 300 something subscribers at this point, I really appreciate it. I'd appreciate a like. I'd appreciate if you share this with someone that may need to build a box, and hoping to come out with more furniture videos as well. I enjoy building things with my hands, and a box is one of the two simplest things you can start with. You got a box and you've got a panel. A panel would just be basically a flat surface made of wood. You could use that for doors. I mean, doors is the main one. You could use it when you're building any sort of house. You want things to be flat. So you want things to be flat and you want things to be square, unless you're building some sort of weirdly abstract piece of furniture. So stop ranting. Thanks again for watching, and hope you enjoyed.